I have to call the Attorney General, who is not here right now, to inform us on the status of how or where that bill is and when it can be presented to Parliament.
Do we have only one Attorney General? Honorable members, we cannot have people from works, and yet there are issues of works which must be handled. We can't have an Attorney General. You have bills here that Attorney General is supposed to handle. How shall we proceed without Attorney General? Honorable members, I don't know how we are going to proceed, because I don't want tomorrow a bill to be passed. When a bill is passed, then they say they return back. Can I have the Attorney General
right now
in the House?
Right now.
And yesterday we said we needed a Minister of Finance in the House.
Yeah, right, Honorable Speaker. I've sent Chief Whip to check on the Attorney General and Minister of Works. So he's doing that.
We want a Minister of Finance in the House because we have a report in regard to finance.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, you first wait and we get the... Yes, one has arrived. Let's have finance.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. You see, the trouble, the Prime Minister, because when you come here, you come with your team to transact business. But every minister let me call. Another minister let me call. So, Madam Speaker, for me the issue, if you
the
follow,
Prime Minister is not a post office. She's not a post office.
I am only saying that she is reducing herself into that by constantly pledging to call. But we need to deal with the most serious issue. If you follow the politics of Africa, you saw what happened in Zimbabwe when a 90-year-old Mugabe was in charge of the country. Things started crumbling. Because once the chief executive is too old, like the one we have, you will have these sorts of problems.
Honorable.
Okay, he's young.
Honorable Ssemujju, it is talking about the chief executive of the country that gives you votes. And if that's what gives you votes, then there's a problem in this country. But as far as we know and we see, our president is leading us very well. And he's not old. He's not old. What has he failed to do? Honorable members, in the VIP gallery this afternoon, we have a delegation of members of staff. Honorable members.
Thank you, Right Honorable. The other time we told you, Honorable Chero, Right Honorable, as you go to the road block in Mabira, it's a very sensitive area. There is a road block, but that spot has been bad before even the NRM government came to power. It has failed to be put right. It has claimed lives. It's very dangerous. Every time when you reach there, you must first stop, and that is how these highway robber people come on the road, and they come and attack us. So we need the Honorable Musa, and Right Honorable, in addition, Honorable Musa Echeru came and supervised the roads. We even reached your area. He led the delegation, and we reached your area, and he promised that in 1 year, those roads were going to be worked on. It was even at night. He's there. We need him to give us feedback. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, the road of Mityana, Kampala Road, within Mityana municipality, was begun in 2020. Up to date, they are still constructing that road. Yeah.
Kampala Mityana.
Kampala Mityana Mubende Road.
Mubende Road.
Within Mityana municipality. It is under construction from 2020 up to this time. We are wondering, when are you concluding that road? Because it is too dusty and it is causing a lot of accidents. Please work on it. Tell us the date when you're finishing it.
And it is causing a lot of accidents.
Honorable Speaker, and dear colleagues, maybe before I go to the census, I want to give facts. When I entered this house, my colleague, that gentleman there, that member of parliament from Mityana, that the road between Busega up to Mbende is a horrible road. No. I pass there every weekend. The road from Busega to Mityana to a place called Narutuntu is a beautiful road. It is only from Narutuntu, Kiganda, Kienda, Mubende. It is in sorrow state of disrepair. But the good news is that the contractor is on site. He one time, oh no, please listen to me.
Honorable Minister, continue.
The contractor Enago project, we must admit, there was a bit of a problem of advancing money to him. Now, that problem is completed. So, you will see in maybe about 3, 4, 5 months, those of you who use that road, you will see a difference.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, you are skipping.
First of all, I start with an apology for coming a bit late. As you know, today the Committee of Fiscal Infrastructure was sitting, and my senior ministry, that the state of roads across the country, especially very critical roads that link communities and link the country to other parts, needs urgent attention. And against that background, Right Honorable Speaker, I think I can have the permission on behalf of my senior colleagues to reveal to this Parliament that my ministry has been directed by Cabinet to take a list of roads on Monday, all those roads that have not been done and are mentioned in the manifesto of the President, and those, can you kindly, so we have been directed, I have been directed to take a list of those roads. Initially, the thinking of government was that because we didn't want to balloon the debt, we would have to go slow, particularly in bringing in new projects. But on critical analysis, Cabinet yesterday decided that on Monday we take a list of those roads, those friends and comrades who were recently privileged to sit before in the meeting where actually the President made a presentation. They will remember clearly the number of roads that actually the President mentioned, and he repeated them yesterday, and therefore he wants me to take those roads on Monday, they are not few, and present to him and indicate the difficulties that have been encountered in implementing some of his directives and the directives of this Parliament. For example, if Parliament had said, we have passed a bill for Ginger Expressway, Kampala Ginger Expressway, and it is true that a loan has been passed, but there seems to have been a challenge in finding resources for compensating perhaps the people who are supposed to be affected by this project. We must indicate that, so that Cabinet will pronounce itself on Monday, and after pronouncing itself on Monday, then I will come again to fill this Parliament in on what we have discussed and resolved. And I can assure you, comrades, the thinking that I saw yesterday is that Cabinet is going to make a decision and get resources that will fix these roads once and for all. They also the emphasis, Right Honourable Speaker, we are a government, that's why we're here. Right Honourable Speaker, I am also aware that again the directive that we were given yesterday was that when we are making this presentation, what has been lacking so much is money for maintenance. Because we have done a number of roads, close to 6,000 kilometers now, but we have not put enough resources for the maintenance of these roads. So a directive was given that when we are coming to Cabinet, we must also provide for that so that the Cabinet will pronounce itself. That's first of all on Monday. So I wanted to beg on the onset, Right Honourable Speaker, that you allow my humble self to go on Monday, make that presentation.
So what are you going with on Monday?
Oh, all the roads that are critical, that must be fixed. Then present to Cabinet.
Where are you getting those roads?
We have the list. Right Honourable Speaker, we have the list.
Honourable Minister, as I said before, that all the members, including myself, who have roads that need to be worked on, if you have an example of the bridge between Bukede and Bulambuli where children have even died, in Kamutur, Bulambuli, children have died. Nothing has been done. We only need a Maram bridge. We don't need even Tamaki. So what we are saying, let's get all that written. I can compile all of them in writing, sign it off, and give it to the minister for Monday. All of it, I want, please, including the ferries. Let's simplify it that way. Let's go to the next item because, Jaja might need to go. But before Jaja goes, the potholes on, it's got.
Things are going wrong because the decisions we make are based on opinion, but not data.
Honorable.
For success of census exercise, you need political leadership. From the submissions of the Honorable Minister, I can see detach between the political leader and the technical people who implement these things. Yesterday, Madam Speaker... Honorable,
if I could cut you short. The minister on census. The minister is coming with a statement on census next week. Let's interrogate his statement next week. And maybe for members, originally we had said we would sit up to Friday, but we have agreed with Yala. Yala will be sitting in the morning. We shall be sitting in the afternoon.
Madam Speaker.
Honourable Speaker, I want to join you in wishing, you called him Jaja? Jaja Matia Kasaija, happy birthday. I don't know how many years he has made today, but I'm sure there are very many. And so we wish you...
He's just sweet 16.
Okay, so he's young. Honourable Speaker, the issue I want to raise actually falls within his docket. Yesterday I teased it out, but we agreed since there was absence of colleagues on the front bench. This side, we said let's tease it out today. In carrying out our critical mandate of oversight, keeping government in check, their entities will keep going too. So last week on Monday 7th, together with some colleagues, we went to Amuru district in northern Uganda to Atiak Sugar Factory. Good enough, they did welcome us, unlike Rocco, which I was giving you an update about. They took taxpayers' money, but they don't want to be held accountable. But that we shall probably pursue as we go along. But with specificity to Atiak Sugar Factory, there's a couple of concerns, right, Honorable Speaker, and hopefully the Minister of Finance and government generally can provide some answers. The taxpayer has so far injected 553.71 billion shillings into the Atiak Sugar Factory project. This is a project that excited many people because it sounded good, it set out well. Good for northern Uganda, people going to get jobs, good for Uganda generally. Along the way, there's too many unanswered questions that need answers because this is money too much. The factory is not operational, Honorable Speaker, over the years, and they are not sure when they will get to operate and produce sugar. They have their own concerns and frustrations as well towards government, just like we have our concerns about the project generally and government's involvement and all of that. Honorable Speaker, the company actually spends money on a daily basis, even though there's no sugar being produced, because they run machines.
Honorable Law.
Yes, right.
How I wish you could give us the report of your tour from day, Atiak, Rocco, where, so that it becomes part of the record of this house. And you will be able to respond to the issues that you're raising when it is a record on this house.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Actually, that's what I was planning. I thought
you can even do in the video
out, very quickly some of these issues so that he prepares a response. So I wanted to give a 3-minute summary. I'll present the lengthy one for our records and all of that. But I thought I would tease these ones out. Also for him to put his technical people on notice to get him all the information that he requires. It will just take 3 minutes, Right Honorable Speaker. Now, the company is frustrated because UDC's presence seems to be absent, because UDC is there on our behalf. They are saying we don't see them, we don't know what's happening. They say they don't have raw materials. They are looking to having all the machinery present for them to be able to operate. One of the questions that the minister needs to answer: does government actually have shares in this company? If so, how many shares? To what tune? We need to know.
And which type of shares?
Exactly. How are we ensuring that the investment of taxpayers accrues a return, that there is a return on the taxpayer money, the 553 billion shillings? Because they're not producing sugar, and yet money has been injected. And has been the habit, Right Honorable Speaker, almost every year there is a request for more money to this entity. And as I mentioned to the management of the entity, I'm interested in that company being functional as opposed to collapsing. Why? Because taxpayers' money has been injected there. If it collapses, we lose 553.7 billion shillings. So we want it to be functional, but we don't know what's happening. And Right Honorable Speaker, as you have guided, there will be a lengthy one, but I thought I would tease these ones out for the minister to get set, to update this house, to update the country, so that we know what's happening with this taxpayers' money that was injected in this project. Thank you for now.
Thank you.
I raised on an issue of national importance. Right Honorable Speaker, last week on Thursday, Madam Speaker, a recently appointed presidential advisor, Mr. Ayaranga Christopher Michael, was kidnapped by unknown people and taken to unknown place. Right, the efforts by the family, relatives, the lawyers and friends pressed for him have gone unrecognized, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it's against the 48 hours that the presidential advisor has not been produced to court. Right, Honorable Speaker, as people from Bunyoro, we are so worried that if a presidential advisor can be kidnapped without any trace,
Thank you,
what is
thank you.
happening of the ordinary Ugandan. My prayer, Right Honorable, was convicted of any crime, he should be produced to court and given a free and fair hearing. Lastly, Madam Speaker, I also pray that the government explains the whereabouts of the presidential advisor, Mr. Ayeranga Michael Christopher. I submit, Madam
Thank
Speaker.
you, thank you.
And colleagues, I have heard, and you can be sure that I will give you satisfactory answers again next week. Thank you very much.
And it's about being stifled to operate. Apparently, Madam Speaker, since 1st of July, the staff at our embassy in Abuja has never been paid. Reason, the PS, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the PSS still appoints the accounting officers. There is no accounting officer in Abuja. Madam Speaker, this parliament and the executive allocated the money to construct a very good, magnificent offices at Abuja. But, Madam Speaker, the contractor is demanding a lot of money and cannot be paid, yet the money is there. That one is going to cause surcharge from government. With you, through you, Madam Speaker, I want that the Prime Minister takes this matter such that we get a response, maybe tomorrow with your guidance.
Honorable Minister of Finance.
We are aware. A few days, we were debating that question. One of the officers decided to take a role that is not his role. We are investigating, and I can assure you that officer will be brought back to Kampala as quickly as possible. Well, I can't, because I cannot force a foreign country. Well,
sorry for the kidnap of our presidential advisor. It's now 2 weeks that we don't know the whereabouts. Anyway, it is alleged. We are not very sure. I request, Right Honorable Speaker, that you allow me to involve Minister for Internal Affairs and Security to come and inform us about the alleged kidnap of our presidential advisor. Thank you.
Thank you.